if you want.
So
26th.
the only problem is we are the first grade to start Edexcel from
Ah,
after grade 6.
okay.
So sir, we don't have any passing.
I can find some questions. Yes. Yeah, no problem. So that
Yes.
means anyway the no no I mean let's do some past papers. So we'll first go through the questions which is there in the book. So most of the time, about 99% of the time, what the teachers do is they basically take the questions from the workbook and they kind of change it here and
Yes.
there and they make new questions. That's how 99% of the time it works. So
Yes.
let's do something similar. Let's work on it, and we
Sir,
before.
even I got the workbook. Or else, if sir is okay with it, sir, shall we like do the workbook like we'll allocate a time from like 1 or 30 like minutes, and let's do the lesson from that minutes, and so we can discuss it the other half like that.
Yes, whatever which is easier.
Okay.
Okay, I do not have the workbook with me, by the way. What I have is this thing, so we'll have to do a screen share and do something like that.
Yes. So
Okay.
if you want, sir, I'll like scan the text. I'll scan the workbook that we are going to cover up. The lessons we are going to
Okay.
cover up,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I'll send it to sir. So then it's okay, right?
Yes, if you can do that, yes, of course, that would be
Okay.
really great. Then I can actually really go through it and see because I actually wanted to buy the workbook, but that was not available. I tried to find it
Yes.
couple of times, but couldn't exactly get the book itself.
Only some.
Only samples are there. Exactly, exactly. Only the samples are there. I actually bought the grade 6 book, but I couldn't find the 7 one. So,
Sir, they are like the sample is not the correct one. So they are like giving a thorough explanation.
okay. So it's kind of like a small version just to understand. Okay.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Okay, perfect. Super. So, let's quickly go through the templating part. I'll briefly explain what this is. So, it's nothing complex. It's just a simple set of guidelines. Okay, so start off with a template is basically okay. So now this is the whole story is about creating a newsletter. No? So when you're creating a newsletter, there are different versions of newsletters what we do. So can you remember we talked about this specific finding the specific audience? I told you like where we think about
The target audience, right,
target
sir?
audience exactly. So the newsletters also basically are created based on a target audience because depending on whatever the category of the product or the service you are going to sell. Let's say you're selling some toys to children, then your target audience is parents, right? And if you're trying to, let's say for the Valentine's Day, if you're trying to sell roses, then your target audience is teenagers or people who are like in a relationship. And for Mother's Day, if you are trying to sell some cake or something, then your target audience will be everyone, right? Everybody has a mother, no? So that would be everyone, right? So likewise, this template directly correlates with the target audience. So basically, in a template, there are some key factors which has to be there. So so in a template, usually there are few factors which has to be there. So number one is the layout of the document. Okay, so the layout means that where you plan to put your details, like how the structure is. Okay, so the layout of the document is the structure where titles, text boxes, and images will go. Okay, so let me show you a quick example and then let's jump in. So let me show you a few newsletter examples. Okay, so these are some newsletter examples which you can actually find online. So you have, so if you take this newsletter, uh, a newsletter of a church, you can see this has few blocks in it, right? See, Likewise. And if we take another newsletter example, let's say something like this. This has a certain set of information. So you have a title, you have some text, and you have some links, and so on and so forth. Let me actually click on this and show you something how it works. Nice, perfect. See, so these are all typical examples of newsletters. See, so the template is basically what you can see here. See, so you have a title, you have the information, you have the details, and likewise. Okay, so the challenge is about how to find the correct template to match the correct audience. Okay, so you can see now this is a more professional template, and this is kind of like a old school type of a template, and this is a typical news type of a template, as well as here we have some fashion. So it has some nice custom text and a date and a time, and here's another newsletter which is for a classroom, and you have a
So they uses like a specific code. They uses attractive or images for the specific target audience, right?
exactly correct. Yes, you got the point. Now example here, real estate, you have all images of houses and buildings, and
Yeah.
here this is a classroom newsletter focused
It's
towards
sort of like colored things.
exactly. Okay, so here's sports. So there are a lot of different types of templates. I will send this link in the chat as well, so you can actually refer to that. I'll put that on the main chat.
Okay, sir.
Paste. Yeah, so I sent it on the main chat group. So these are all specific type of newsletters. So going back to this one, so the template is basically important because the template will give you a clear idea on where the text and images will be placed on. Okay, so then you do have some sort of a set of details of the fonts and alignments. So now, as you saw in that in that website, you do have different fonts and alignments here and there, right? So that is also part of the template. And then the final thing is the position of key pieces of information. In the sense, now let's say if you are trying to create something like a product, like if you are trying to sell a product, then the key product information has to be placed in specific points, such as the price, date, and issue, and so on and so forth. Now, in that previous example, we saw here this classroom newsletter. See, you can see some key information as upcoming events and what we learned after shock, and so on and so forth. Right? So, likewise, all the information has to be the locations of this information will be the part of the template which we are going to use. Okay, so now you got the basic idea about the template, right? That's good. Okay, so then
Yes.
we talk about a factor where benefits of using a template. So it's like this. Now, if you are trying to come up with your own layout or the template, it's going to be a bit of a hassle because you need to learn how to create it, right? You have to have something like a little bit of a graphical knowledge as well because it's graphics, no? You have to find the images, and technically that is the part of a graphic designer, right? And it's going to be a hard task because depending on the customer, you have to tell them how to design it and so on and so forth. But when we use the template, like the ones which I showed you before, it's quite easy. You just click and you edit. So I'll show you one more example. So let me log into
Sir,
Canva.
when we are taking like digital templates, they even have those sort of something like what those hyperlinks.
Yes. Yes, of course.
We can
Let me.
we can even make templates in Canvas.
Yes, yes. So let me show you how to work on this. So this is Canva. So I am actually logged in with one of our corporate accounts, so I do have access to this. So let's select this one. This template, okay?
Yes, sir.
So when
Sir, you should pay, right?
I do have a paid account. We have a paid account. We have a
We
company.
can't take a free account, right?
I'm not sure how it works, Kenneth, because for the free account you can't change that much. But see now here, okay. So now okay, I'll zoom it in. Now I have the template. So this is what we get from Canva. Now let's say if you want to change something, all you need to do is just click here and edit, change the text.
That's what, right?
Just like that. Okay, so
Oh,
so you don't have to worry about the designing aspect of things because now the template is already there. You can easily now, let's say if you want to change the date, you just click here and you change it.
change.
Yes, you just click here, click on the date
That's,
and you change it. Let's say if you want to change this text, you click here and just like that you change.
that's right.
Yeah.
So it's easy, sir, in Canva, right? To like take the
Yes.
newsletter and
Yes.
take the template and you have like change it with
Yes.
your ideas.
Yeah. So we use Canva to design newsletters a lot because then what we do is we just download it, and so here on the top here, sorry, other corner, you can see there's this button called share. So when you click on share, you get this drop down, and you can actually download it here. The download option
Yeah,
is
sir.
there.
So, sir, in this case, sir, when you are like having the thing,
Yeah.
but you have to make it something like your own template. Can you make it in Canva?
Yes, of course. Yes, you can make your own template as well. The thing is you need to have the graphical sense in you. You need to
Yes.
know what type of graphics you need to add. But yes, it is possible. It is doable. You can add your own template. Okay. So
Yes.
now,
And
yeah. So the benefits of using a template is basically now primary factor is time saving because you don't have to redo anything, no. And then at the same time, this is collaboration or collaborative editing. So that means now in if you take Canva as an example, I can actually share this. Since I have a paid account, I can share this URL with you so that you can actually log in and you can start editing. So usually what we do is in the industry what we do is when a customer requests us to create a newsletter, we create it on Canva and we share the link with the customer as well. So the customer can see what is there and then he approves it. And once it's approved, we can get out and
so, sir,
publish
that
it.
means if you decide whether I didn't have a paid account on Canva,
Yeah,
if sir sent me the link, I can still edit it.
correct. You can. Yes. You can.
That's what.
That's how it works because Canva. Okay, hold on. Canva, we have a corporate account, not so for the corporate like the business accounts, we can actually give access to non-account holders to edit. So that's a special paid account. Otherwise, the normal paid account you do not have the collaboration unless you add them as a paid team member.
Oh, sir, that means sir is using it for like you just sir just paid it for the business purpose, right?
Correct. Yes. Yeah. What we have is a business account because we have
So
like
those are very expensive, sir. When it come to like
yes.
they are telling to pay $150 and like that.
Yeah. I think we are paying about in Sri Lankan rupees we are paying about 120,000. About 120,000
Oh,
is
that is
about $350.
yeah, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
even in ChatGPT, when you are like going to use it for business purposes, it tells you to like use $200.
Correct.
So,
Yes.
sir, I just compare it. Our father just compared it with Gemini like
Gemini.
Google.
Yeah.
Like which one is better for like businessmen for using for like those high calculations and those things.
Yeah.
And the Gemini's idea was like most probably Claude AI is better
Claude is
than
better.
ChatGPT, but ChatGPT is better for like understanding simple concepts, but he can't do like many words. So our father and sometimes I use Claude.
Yes, Claude is good. So just
Nobody except me, nobody use Claude.
yeah, actually, okay. So it's like this. So now Claude is, uh, to put that into a simple perspective, Gemini is a kind of like a full-on AI solution which has Google integrated in it. No? So you can literally search through Gemini. So their data set is up to date. Claude is mostly focused towards academic writing. So if you are, let's say, looking for uh, something to learn or something to write or like professional writing, then Claude is the best option. I do have a paid account on Claude as well because I use that for my doctorate documents. and
Sir, and actually, sir, when they are giving, when my classes teachers are giving to make speeches,
yeah,
our friends are like making simple speeches by ChatGPT,
yes, yes,
and I said just go with ChatGPT and Claude and
yeah,
collect it. And then what I do is that we have the Gemini app, sir, and
yeah,
you could like compare it whether it's good or not. And
yeah.
I'm getting the final result like accuracy is 100%.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm all okay when using AI tools. That is perfectly fine. But you have to make sure as long as you use an AI tool, remember to make sure that you customize it according to your voice. Now, if you try to generate something, what is being generated is not exactly the output you want. What you get is some sort of an output which is basically given by the AI system. Now, what you need to do is get it generated. Yes, okay. Then read, understand it, and convert it into your own words. Then
So that's
it's
the
perfect.
case, sir. In that case, sir, ChatGPT is the best.
Yes, ChatGPT still the content generation is or can be understood as it was generated. Now, if you send me a text which you generated through ChatGPT, I can easily read and say that was AI. That's the
That's such.
that's the okay. So jumping back to this. So benefits. I hope it's clear. So you obviously time saving, and second is collaboration, and the third one is consistency. So consistency means that let's say if you are, let's say you're the owner of a toy shop and you want to come up with a particular layout, then you can keep the same template for your all your emails. So you don't have to change the layout. You can just keep it as it is, like as the one you saw on Canva, this one. So this particular layout, we can basically leave it as it is. We don't have to change it. So if you want to change the background image, you can change it later on. But then again, the structure will be consistent, right?
Yes.
So that's the reason we opt in for templates. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
now, then the document page design. So the document page design is also similar to coming up with the newsletter template, but here we will understand few points. Okay, so primarily here in this case, let me zoom this in a little bit. Okay, so the primary point we have to understand is in any sort of a document, we do have two major sides in the document itself. So primarily we call it the header and the footer. Okay, so the header and the footer is mainly used to, let's say, keep something displayed consistently throughout all the pages. In the sense, let's say you want to add a logo or something like a specific title, then that is where you put the title. Okay, so headers, usually we put titles, we put logos, we can put some sort of a, let's say,
Like, sir, we can put like an introduction for like the thing is in here like that. In
exactly.
there.
Yes, exactly. And always remember now, usually when it comes to Word, Microsoft Word or any Word, word processing software, what you do is you double click on the header area, and then when you double click it, you get the option to change and edit. Okay, so that's how you usually edit something. Edit the headers and the footers. Then we do have another point known as subheadings and headings. Okay, so give me one moment. Let me switch the camera and show you this on Word itself. I think that would be
Okay.
that would make
Sir,
it. Yes.
Really, sir, I just experienced something like this, sir. Like, I just saw a video on YouTube that a guy is typing a sort of a code.
Okay.
Code in the sense mean like, in Word, he's typing like capital F, 48, capital E in Word, and
Okay.
he just press Alt X, and a diamond comes in the word. A diamond.
Okay, that is something to do with an ASCII code.
So I just tried it with something like everything. It can diamond, crabs,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
like those hands and those things. And it
Yes.
was so fun.
Yes, let me show you where this is. Okay, so I am using Microsoft Word. So here you can see in this area, this is the blank area. No? So here if you double click, automatically you can see it got changed. Now when you double click, you get the header, and at the same time if you go down, you can see the footer. So whatever you put in the header, okay, and then when you again double click outside, that would be fixed. Now even if you have multiple pages, let's go down and create another page. See, even if you have multiple pages, the header will continue as it is. So let me let's put something like this. So let's
doesn't
get a
change.
no, it doesn't change. So let's get a logo, and let's get this Adidas logo, copy image. Okay, now if I go up and if I paste it here, and let's resize this. Okay,
So
now
in this case, when we are having like sort of like when we need to have different headers in different pages, how could
yes.
we do that task?
Okay, so you technically can have a dedicated header for the first page. Okay, so when you go into the design, when you go into
Also, that master view sort of that thing, right?
yes, exactly. You can actually create a something like a specific. So yeah, when you double click here, so you can see we have the header and the footer, and also in the top you should be able to see different first page. See, different first
Yeah.
page and different odd and even pages also. So if I set as different first page, then see it changed the wording to first page header. So here I can say this is the first page, and then see what happens. So this is the first page, and the second page header is something else.
Yeah,
Okay.
sir. So it doesn't change when we put that thing, right?
No, usually like what we do is we keep the first page to like something like we add on the first page, we add something like something about the document, or like a first page of the document. So for that we keep the first page layout different, and we start everything starting from the second page. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's
Thank you, sir.
perfect. So that's about headers. But there are another point when it comes to headings. Now, this is the headers and the footers. Now, okay, so let me show you the footer as well. So in the footer, it's the same thing. So you can, this is the footer, and you can set it up, and it will continue the layout throughout all the documents, all the pages you have in your Word document. There is a quick thing which you can actually add. So here, when you double click on this, you can see you get this option called page number. Okay, so here if you add the page number, you do have the option of showing the page number on one of the sides. So let's say by default, if we select right and if we click OK, now you can see the page number is visible here. It's visible right behind me. Okay,
That's
let me make this smaller.
I saw it's like did like this at the moment I saw.
Yeah, see,
So like to it automatically like when the page is added, it is automatically coming to 3, 5, 6
correct.
like that. Right?
Yes, yeah, okay. So then we have two more things. Okay. Now, when you're creating a document, after that, now what we talked about was the header and the footer, and then we have the headings and subheadings. Okay, so headings and subheadings are there to actually, there's a reason for this. Primary reason is to make sure that your document is structured. So let's say here on top you can see we have headings, heading 1 and 2, and if you click on the small arrow, you can see we do have a certain set of different formatting as well. So let me show you how it works. Now let's say this is the first topic of the document. Okay, now since this is the first topic of the document, we want to make it highlighted, right? So we can go and select the heading 1, which will now highlight this as a heading. Then we can add some data, so some information about the first topic. Then this is the second topic of the document. Sorry, this is a subtopic. This is a subtopic of the first main topic. Okay. Now, since this is subtopic, then what we can do is we can set this as heading 2. So it goes like this. Then some information about the second topic. Okay. So like.
So it's like well organized at the moment when we use.
Correct. Yes. Now then we can actually go with another level if you want. This is another subtopic of the second topic. Okay. Here we can use heading 3. Then I can say.
So it's going like big, small, small, like that.
Yes.
So that means when it's go more down and down, it goes more small.
Correct. Yeah. So that is actually to make sure that the layout is consistent, so that you understand what it is. Okay. So
Yeah.
the fun part of this is you do this, but you add these headings because when you're creating a document, we need to have a page index, right? So an index page where it will show you all the topics. Now, in Word, we have a method of generating this index. So I'll go to the first page, and here, when I so here under the under the references, okay, so you have this option called table of contents on the top. So when I select the table of contents, it will actually show you a small set of templates. So if I select this template, see what automatically happened. So it goes through the entire document, finds all the headings, and then it creates the table of contents. Okay.
So even in our IT books, it's the same template, sir. It is like giving a space at the moment.
Space, yes, yeah. You can customize this. So example is now you can actually click on this. There is a small click. Yeah. So you get this drop down. You can click on this. You can actually you can update the table, or here under the table of contents, you do have different templates. See. You have a lot of templates there.
It's like different formations.
Different formats, exactly. And if you really want to go like extremely customized to an extremely customized version, that also you can do. You can click on customize table, and in this version, you have a lot of different options. See, you can go with a fancy option, a formal, a simple, and
The modern is nice.
modern, fancy. Let's go with the simple. So see, now you can see all the levels.
That is more details. Like, what is
Yes.
this? What is that? And why is it sort of like that?
Correct. And then, yes, that is more detailed. And the fun part is, this will actually allow you to go into these pages. Okay, let me undo what I did. Okay, so if you go it like this, here, can you see when you move your mouse over the title, it automatically changes to a finger and a pointer.
Yeah,
See?
sir. Like,
So when you click
and
on
we can
this,
like click it on it.
and it will automatically take you to the document. So it's really
Yeah.
straightforward and easy. This is why we use headings and subheadings. Okay,
Sir.
so that's
Thank you.
sure, no problem. So this is actually not mentioned into that in depth in the document, but I just want to show you everything because then it will be easy for you to understand. Now you saw how it works.
Yeah, sir. Then it is like we can understand points.
Super. So, okay. So then we saw how page numbering works as well. So page numbering is almost the same thing. We we can put the page number. So like as we added it in the footer, you get the
Yes.
automatic page numbering. So
Page number.
yes, so that will be either the number of pages, or you can actually come up with a Roman numeral as well. I, and likewise. Okay, so that's why we use the headings now. Okay, so then we have the page breaks. So a page break is similar to something like a visual break where we basically make sure to add to have a specific natural end of the paper. Okay, so it's like this. Now when you're writing a huge paragraph, let's say you're writing a huge paragraph, and at the end of the paragraph you can either put something from the next paragraph as well, but without putting that, what you do is you keep a break, and then that would basically naturally end the document. So
Sir, in Word also, sir, there is an option called page break. Page break, right?
yes,
I use it, sir, when we are writing sort of like essays. You can break the page and it shows like it's ended sort of.
exactly, correct, yeah. So this is a visual, let's say, this is a visual break. Like we are not technically breaking the page, no, we are just breaking the content. Right? So then that would be added so that when you're reading it, it's actually easy because it's like this, like when you're reading a huge document, at a certain point, your eyes will be blocked at a certain point, and if you add the previous content, oh no, okay, let me explain this in a way. Okay, so let's say you are explaining about three specific things in a document. So you start from, on the first page you start from the first point, and then at the end if you try to squeeze in the second point also, it's going to be a little bit of a confusing, or it's going to be a little bit of hard for the user to like differentiate both, right? So what we do is then we move it to the second document or the second page. So we just used to like sort it out in a specific way so that the reader feels natural to go through the document. So that's the idea behind the page breaks. And then also we do have something called grouping. So have you seen and tried grouping?
So like when you are like grouping it can't move. I have groups when we are having a picture, like when we are making labels, we group the object like with the picture and with the shape and with the text and all the things. When we group like it keeps every content in place, like in whole with other contents like graphics and all the things.
Perfect. Correct. Yes. So what you do is you basically get few items together and you group it together. You make it a group so that you can move everything as a group. Otherwise, you have to
Yes.
move it one by one. So grouping allows you to keep a set of assets or shapes as a single point. Nice. Okay, you know the idea. And okay, so here you can see a real world example. So this is basically a document about like just a sample document. So you can see you have two sides of the document and you have a header. So this is the header and you have a heading and you have subheadings. Okay, so don't get these two mixed up. Huh? This is the header, these are headings, and these are subheadings. So in Word, you can actually have up to 3 levels of subheadings. And if you take HTML, web development, you have 5 levels of subheadings: H1, H2, H3, H4, and H5. Okay, so
So, sir, that is the things that is called HTML1, HTML2, then those things.
HTML 1 and 2 is something different. Those are technology versions. So now currently we are
Oh,
using HTML 5. So those are like versions. Abhi,
so sir, we have to like learn new codes from 1 to 5.
no, you don't have to learn that because these are like, so in HTML it works like something, let's say, it's basically typing tags now. So versions actually gave more features to the tags. So
Oh, that
HTML1,
means it's being easy,
yes, not technically easy, but it made things much more, let's say, customizable,
convenient.
convenient and customizable. So back then means almost about 20 years ago when we started building websites, we were really restricted with the technology which we had. So we had to go with whatever the tags which was there, and it was not customizable. That's why these old
And sir,
websites are ugly.
lately, sir, like 1 or 2 weeks ago, sir, I tried to make an code with ChatGPT to like make an external storage, but HTML is limited for like 2 GB or something. So I thought of like it's useless to have 2 GB.
uh,
And when I just got the code and there was a prompt call that changed 2 GB,
hmm,
so I just changed it to 200 GB and
okay.
I just started to do it, and I just started the code, and nothing happened.
What is external storage? I didn't follow you.
So like Google Drive,
Okay, okay.
I was trying to build up something like Google Drive with extensive storage.
Got it. Okay, but you need a server to do that.
That's it. I just got it more.
Okay, so storage in a nutshell, how it works is you need to have a storage space. So in this case, a cloud server. So in there you will have the storage space, and for that we can build a script which will upload our files to the cloud storage. So usually what we do is we build, so now I was actually building a document management system architecture yesterday. So for that what we used was, since that customer has a lot of, let's say, compliance standards. So compliancy means they do have a lot of rules and regulations where the documents have to be protected because they were actually, let's say, how to put this, they were affiliated
The
with,
guy is like Area 51.
yeah, they were actually doing some government projects. So these documents are actually particular location information about government assets. So for that we had to go with a highly secured plan so that all the documents are being uploaded, is securely stored in that particular country. so, so
So, sir, I just got something to my mind, sir. When we are getting about Area 51, though they have own server, or they just work under Google.
all cloud service providers like Google, Azure, and Amazon, all of them have a specific separate cloud service called the government cloud, the Gov cloud, GOV cloud. So that we don't have access to that. We can't get access also. That is only being given access to government officials and government companies. So GovCloud is extremely secured because they store all the information about wars
So,
and
however, the Google CEO can enter.
nobody can access. Nobody have access to it. Like not even even if you have if you physically go there, that information is still encrypted. Nobody can read it. So the keys are actually
That
with
means the
the
guys who are like, this is this and that guys, the software engineers even don't know what are they.
usually how it works is you get to know a certain part which you are only working on. That's it. So you don't get to see the big picture.
That's
And
it.
ultimately, okay, let's say both of us, you and me, we are building a secret, some sort of a planning system to spy on a country.
China.
China. Okay, so let's say if we are building something like that, and if we are working for the US government, you and me, we won't even know that is an application which is going to spy on China. We won't get that knowledge. We will be just developing a certain part of some sort of a task, and that's it. Nobody knows the full
That's it.
picture. Only the top level management will know the full picture. Others are always kept in the dark.
So, sir, as they tell, sir, almost every people are trying to hack those Apple and those guys, and sir, how it is possible to be safe like that?
Government cloud is actually stored in a as far as I know, this is as far as I know, that is stored in separate secure facilities, man. Like they do have server locations, like server farms and all, specifically for the government itself. So we don't even have access to that. Even those IPs and domains are not even exposed to the public. So unless if you are a full-time big hacker who knows how to do that, then there can be a chance for you to actually at least get those details. But apart from that, no way. Some of these.
I just got the idea sir, how to get those things.
I have one of my friends who was working on an Australian government project. You know what? His office laptop, if he turns on his office laptop outside the office premises, it won't work. So yeah, yeah.
Possible.
So it's basically locked from the network. So you have the laptop. If you try to open it outside office, you can't log into the laptop. Laptop is locked.
That's it.
So
So, sir, they are the Area 51 guys are in the same network of people. So, sir, what if we try to give a satellite radio wave that could jam and it could connect to the other satellite sort of, and then it's all done.
you can, I believe, from my knowledge, you can jam it, but I don't think it will let you scan. Example is now you have these devices where you can scan for frequencies now. By the time you are scanning, they can get to know that you are scanning. And මෙහෙමනේ scan කරනවා කියන්නේ you will be sending a signal, and that signal has to go at some place and it has to return back. No? So we are basically emitting and receiving. Emitting means just like that you are basically telling your location.
Yes.
So that
sir, how the world like this? We can't tell them sir that these guys don't use Google and they don't go to YouTube and those things, no sir. But if we just but if their target audience is about crash planes, and sir, we make a spoof website, I mean with real things, but we have hyperlinks for more information, the guys can be hacked.
For the people who work in those government organizations, they don't have access to anything. While the time they work there, everything is locked. You know what? They can't even keep a smartphone with them. They have to keep everything inside lockers, and then only they can go there. No browsing, no chatting, no internet, nothing. You just code and that's it. My friend who was working for that company actually quit after working there for about 3 months because he was so, let's say, he was
So sad.
so depressed because you are completely blocked out for 8 hours. You can't even check your phone.
Oh,
So
that is sort of like weird.
no, but that is how they maintain their security. This is in
But if we take the Sri Lankan security, sir, even the YouTube channel of police have been hacked by people.
අපේ thing අනේ අපේ we can't talk about security in Sri Lanka. That's a whole other level. Anyway, okay. So let's quickly finish this up. So yeah. So remember the keywords. Huh? So as we discussed before, we have the header, we have the heading, and then we have the subheadings, and we have the page number, and this area is known as the footer. Okay. So the keywords, I think if you are going to get questions about this, sure, this structure will be questioned. What are the points? So remember, don't make that mistake. The header and the heading is two different things. Huh?
Yes.
Okay.
So we got it to our last minute, but formative assessment.
You got it in the formative assessment, is it?
Yeah, sir. We got it for like the formative assessment, sort of like the last time, sir. That time I wasn't there, but one of my friends sent me the paper. So we had like subject like put the headings and those things.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Okay, so the next point is combining text and graphics. So this is again a very simple point. So we do have few options. So combining elements within a digital publication, that means basically combining multiple graphical elements with text in your document. So these are the points which you can use. You can use graphical shapes like backgrounds, images, fun type parts, shapes, arrows, callouts, lines. Any graphical shape or an image can be taken as uh, can be taken as items to like can be taken as an element, and then we can have tables, we can have charts, we can have text boxes, as well as we can have bullet and numbered lists to use this to display in different places of information. So did you go through this at school? Where did they show you how to do this with Word and all?
Sir, I don't think so, sir. Those days I was sick and I couldn't go, sir.
Okay. The
I
reason,
had asthma, sir, for like 6 months ago. I cannot go to school.
okay, let me show you this on Word then. That's easier. Then it will be easy for you to understand as well. Okay, just give me a second. I'll switch my screen. So switching to the
Sir,
camera.
after 6 months, sir, these are my like the first week that I went.
Okay. No problem. Okay, so let me quickly show you what we are talking about. So the first point is about the to call it the graphics. Okay, so graphical shapes. Okay, so graphical shapes means that we do have few options where you get under the item called insert over here. Okay, so when you go to insert, you can see it gives you a list of items here. So you have the option to insert a picture, you can insert shapes, you can insert the icons, 3D models. We have something called smart art, and we have charts, and you can actually take a screenshot as well. So let me show you how to add an image. So adding an image is actually quite straightforward. Now let's say we want to add the Instagram logo. You can actually search for that online, and you can right click on the website on that particular image, and you do have the option of copying the image. Okay, so you can copy the image and you can directly go here and paste it like this. Okay, so this is basically adding. This is how you can add images. You can do the same things. Now what I did was I just copied and pasted them. So otherwise you can click here on the pictures, and from here you can actually select a picture from your computer as well. Okay, as well as you do have something known as stock images. This is something new. It depends on your Word version. Nah? This was not there in the old versions, but the newer versions they do have this. Where
Sir, I have the 2019.
2009, is it the same one? What I am showing now?
No, sir, it's not like that. It is different.
Yeah.
But sir, it is like sort of new than others.
Okay. Don't compare the UI, yeah, because I am actually on a Mac, on a Mac machine.
Oh, that's
So
such.
yeah, my Mac UI is a little bit different, but the functionalities must be the same. So here you do
Yeah.
have the stock image option as well. Let's say if you want
Sir,
to.
can you use Microsoft 365 in Macs?
Yes, of course. Why not?
Oh. But sir, we can't ever use Mac OS in HPs. That's the
No,
problem.
no, no, you cannot. You cannot. That is technically blocked. See, using this, you can actually add the graphics. Okay, so just to make it a little bit easier, let me get some text. So I'll get
So
some.
sometimes I mostly copy and paste the photos. When you are going to like save it, it would like take storage.
Yes, obviously yes. Okay, so let me copy paste some text here. Okay, we have some text, and then what's the fun part is when you have an image, you can actually place that image inside the text as well. Okay, so there is a
Yeah.
point. So when you're placing this now here, this image is actually taking the space now. So what you can do is here when you click on this image, you do have a option on the top which is known as the possession. Okay, so by default this is set as in line with text, but you can actually change it to different text wrapping. So example, if I go for this one,
So text alignment, sir?
yes, see now since I moved it to the top, now this is basically set with the text. Okay, so you can actually do that by right clicking also. You can right click and you can go to wrap text and you can focus on this. So if I put on tight, it would automatically, so if I put it here, see, when I select the option as tight, see,
It would automatically like change
automatically
with the
change the width and the text
bottom.
will, exactly, the text will work alongside with it. Okay, so these are the options you get with images, as well as you get the same option with co with insert, and you have shapes. See, so you have bunch of shapes in here, which is like a common set of shapes. Let's say if I want to add a face, I can add it here. And
So
then
I
can
don't
draw
have
the
that
face.
much shapes.
You should know. You don't
Sir,
have.
I only have like few shapes.
And is it? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, sir, like not few. It's actually like there's 30, but not like that.
Okay. So you do get different types of shapes. You can actually either make this a sad face, or you can pull it down and make it a smiley. Okay. As well as you do have some options with icons. So here when you click on icons, you get some specific icons. So here, see, you get a set of icons. So let's say if I want to take an icon of an apple.
Sir, I like almost use icons and those things. The same options are there in presentation, PowerPoint and those things are there. I
Same
use
thing.
those icons sometimes.
Okay,
It's nice.
okay. You get all the options. Yes, correct. You get all the options there. Okay, so you have the icons, as well as you have something interesting where you have this thing called smart art. So smart art is for actually creating, let's say, diagrams and let's
Flow
say
chart and
flow
those things.
charts, processes, exactly, hierarchical charts, relationships, and different types of matrices, pyramids, and so on and so forth. So let's say if I add a pyramid like this, then
Sir, I've used those things for like when we are like explaining them step by step.
perfect, awesome. Yes, that's the best way to use it, because then you can some text.
Organize them here.
Yes, exactly. Level 1.
Sir, and I make the letters colorful, so
Okay.
like people are like attracting more. When I'm like telling them, it's like more colorful,
Exactly.
and I'm putting sort of like a box in there and a feeling.
Yes. So, okay, so these are the points which you get to insert. Then we have tables. So, tables are basically, as the name says, these are basically used to display content as a table, in a table. So here you go to insert, and when you go to insert, on the top on the top left hand corner we have the table drop down, and here you can actually create a table according to the number of columns and rows you need. Okay, so see, when I move my mouse, it automatically shows you the number of columns. So let's say I want to create a table with 4 columns and 5 rows. I just have to select
And
it.
so it comes as nice, and we can put sort of like that.
Yes.
Like alignment sort
Exactly.
of like that.
Then we can actually go through these options and we can color it up. We can add details and so on and so forth. So this is mainly.
And so we can put sort of like a color in the outer line.
Yes, of course, yes. Here we have, like, when you select the table, under the border styles you have the borders, so you can put sizes, colors. You can increase the border size also. Cool.
Sir, I just go to the corner and I just right click and you can just go. I just do that.
Yeah, you can go to borders and shadings also here, and then you can actually make it much more complex. Okay.
Sir, when we are doing it in school, sir, we did it from open office, right? You know, sir. It
Okay.
is so old. So, sir, we should do from like many steps, like the small things.
Yeah.
So boring.
Open Office, I think it might not be old. Okay. So, but these features are not clearly visible. That's the thing. That's not technically old, because Open Office, they basically release it every now and then. See, the latest version
Sir,
was
but
released.
sir, we have like downloaded them, sir. Our teachers told they downloaded them like many years ago. The same type is used by them. We also.
Hiyo, okay. Then it should be old. No questions.
Our school is like, sir, like we just pay and they are like cutting the budget of them, and they don't even use Microsoft, and they don't even use Microsoft 365. They use those simple things that ever children can do.
That is true. Microsoft 365 is actually expensive. So each license will cost you about 3,000 a month, about 3,000 rupees a month. So if you
Sir,
have.
we pay 68,000 for the school by one person for like 3 months.
Okay.
And sir, we have 37 children in a class, and we only have 2 IT labs for 2 schools, and we are having around like, sir, 37 around IT. Those may what we call the computers.
Okay.
And sir, how can't they like me?
I know, that's the same situation in most of the schools. Sadly, the only thing is you have to do your own studies just to get things done, right? Okay, so I'll quickly explain this. So now table is clear. So this is how you are at the table. So you have the tables, and then you have the next important thing, charts. So charts are again here under the insert. You do have the chart option. So similar to Smart Chart, charts will basically give you different types of charts which you can just add and put into the system. Let's say if I put a pie chart. Okay, hold on. What exactly?
Sir, how to use that line blocks when you are like using the charts?
Yeah, okay.
It randomly comes.
It randomly comes, and once you select it, so see what happens. So when I select the chart, it automatically turns on Microsoft Excel. So here this is connected with Excel, and the data set is actually mapped from the Excel sheet. See, now if I change this to, let me increase the size. Okay, So here you can see if I change this to, now this is 8 now.
Sir, Excel is complicated.
I don't know. It's actually quite. For me, I feel comfortable with Excel more than working on Word. Excel is much
Sir,
more
our
powerful.
father uses them.
Yeah.
But for me, sir, it's so hard.
Okay. No, you can learn it really easy. So see now when you create the chart, that gets a version on Excel, and it will let you basically change whatever the values, and the value will automatically adjust the chart. And if you close this, automatically the value will be there. And again, if you want to edit this, you just need to double click, and it will automatically open it on, sorry, either you double click, or here you have the edit in Excel option, so you click on it, it will take a bit of time and it would pop up the Excel.
And sir, Excel documents use more space than Word, right?
You mean the document size, or
Document size, sir. That's all.
mm, in technical speaking, technically yes, because Excel saves much more data than Word. Word is
Yeah.
saved in a specific way. Okay, have you seen a Word document actually? Do you know what
Yes,
is a
sir.
Word document?
I
No.
have just do simple things with
Okay.
Word, like making a chart sort of.
No. Do you
But
know what is behind the scenes? දැකලා තියෙනවද පිටිපස්ස මොකද වෙන්නේ කියලා? So if you open up a Word document, you can actually let me just open. Okay. Let's do it like this. So let me show this. Save this Word document on my desktop as sample. Okay, and let's go, and we can actually right click, and I can open this Word document not on Word. I can use a tool like
so in iMac, sir, it is so easy to control everything, right?
it depends until you learn how to do that, but once you learn it, yes, it is.
But in HP, sir, you have to like go in huge things like this and that and this.
Yes. So let me just show you how it works.
Sir, even I upgraded my one, sir. Oh.
So
What
this is this is the Word file, okay? This is what you basically have in the Word. So this is a binary file, but if you go down, you should be able to see some specific tag information.
Sir, those binary files, sir,
Sorry.
are those by assembly, sir?
That is not technically assembly, but that is a specific similar to no, not assembly. This is something similar, but not directly assembly. Let me show you the older version. So not the docx. Sorry, I made a mistake. So when you open the older version or a rich text document, so let me save as an old version. Now if you try to open this, okay, let me show this. Yeah, we have the old doc version. So here, convert. Yeah, now can you see? This is what is there inside the file. Right?
So, that much small?
No, see, all the text are there.
That's long.
That is very long. How many lines you have? You have you have over 2,500 lines. And do you know what this is? This binary code here. This is the image. This is how the image data is saved.
Oh, those images.
Yes.
The things that are going over.
Yes. So these are all the images.
Awesome.
See how large is that image is? See, okay. So this starting from here.
So, sir, when the guys were creating words, sir, should they like type 2,000 lines for that?
No. This is how the data is being saved. Nobody typed all this code. This is how the data is being actually saved. But see all of the Excel connection. This is the diagram we created. So it's
So could you even open that file, sir? If you just sometimes say if something that I like so much that means so much having detailed option, why let's crash?
yes, yeah, that is there. That is true. Here, this is actually a MacBook Pro with like fully spec'd out MacBook.
Sir, I have Intel Core i3, so it's no
Yes,
use.
that's fair enough. Okay, so one last point just to show. So, and the bulleted and numbered list. So, numbered lists are basically similar thing which we will be using almost all the day with the bullet points, right?
And
Bullet
numbers.
point one, and likewise you can basically press enter and keep on adding multiple lines, right? And at the same time, we do have the number list item. So there we have the numbered list. So you can easily select this.
Sir, can choose it by that, right? I have to right click and do.
Is it? Why? What happened?
Sir, I don't know, sir. I am having the 2019 version.
I'm using the 2021 version.
Sir.
Okay.
That is
So here now there's a fun fact in behind this. So you can actually select this and you can click on this drop down and you can actually change the format. So you do have a lot of options. You can go with the Roman numerals, you can go with A to Z, or you can go with capital A to Z, simple A to Z, or let's say if you want to define a new format, that is all that is also possible. You can add the format. Okay. So
oh, like sir, we can put our own things like LNG sort of like that.
yes, you get this in your documents also. You have these special characters, so these are added by them.
Oh yes.
Okay, then let's quickly wrap this up by going through the text wrapping. So we have the alignment. So the alignment is basically these three items. So these four items, these four are like very common. That's whatever the platform you are going to use, these four items will be there. So it's quite simple. It helps you to align the text into either left or center or right. Okay, or you can justify. So justify will basically expand the text into that particular area, which will be able to show the entire list. So usually justify, sometimes it will kind of damage the text in a way, like let's say if you have a short text line, like let's say written something like this. So if I justify this and add some text, see the width automatically gets changed. See, that got widened.
Yeah, sir. It is got like it is having more space in the middle.
Exactly. Now it's a bit hard to read, right? So in this type of a thing, if it is a
Yeah.
small text, then better to have it on left aligned. Okay. And if you are writing
Sir, and it manages space.
exactly, and what happens if you are writing it in Arabic or in Chinese or any sort of a different language, then you have to right align it because they read from right to left, not like us. We read from left to right,
Yeah, sir.
but they read from right to left.
Even I do Chinese, sir.
Ah,
That's
okay. Then I don't have to tell you how to read. Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
So
sir, from other side.
yes.
It's hard to read, sir.
Yes, exactly. I know. And then, so that is about the alignment. And then we have the text wrapping, which I just showed you with the images, where you can basically use the square, behind, and inline to handle the text wrapping, right? Okay, so there are some real world examples, but then that is it about this thing. Okay, let me quickly jump back to the screen and I'll go through the points. Okay, so once you get everything done, I think I explained this to you sometime back about the reviews, but then again we'll just quickly go through this. So peer reviews. So peer reviews means, so this is about reviewing and proofreading the documents. So peer review means that you basically check this, check the document, or you give the document to someone else so that they will check for specific points similar to spelling and grammatical errors and word errors, layout problems such as like images or text overlapping or not being sorted together, as well as factual errors can be there also. Boru කියලා ලිබ්බොත් එහෙම බොරු කියන්න බෑනේ. So those things has to be sorted out, as well as we can find if there are images which is poor quality. So that also can happen in a specific way, and if the publication is suitable for a target audience. So all these points can be given by like checked through going through a peer review. So now in a project, usually this is again a point, because who should peer review, that is also something important. Because let's say, okay, so if you create a document about let's say you're writing about cybersecurity, okay, now you have to get that reviewed by a person who knows about cybersecurity, right? So if you get the document from somebody who is not relevant to that category or relevant to not that group, that's going to be a problem. So now usually what we do is, based on peer reviews, we basically give it to somebody inside the group itself. So if you did this as a group activity at the school, then someone else might get the option to review your work. Otherwise, you can actually review your work from work of another group as well. So okay, so at school, when the teacher asks you to mark your books, there are like, normally you exchange your books and mark, right? Otherwise you take all the books from your group and give it to the next table, and you take their books and you keep it on your table. Peer review is something same. So the thing is, peers with no connection to the project, let's say example from another group, something like that, then also they can give you some feedback. So example is when I'm working on my documents, like my thesis document and all, I actually give that thesis to people who does not know about what I'm doing. So the reason I do that is, so when they go through it, they look at it in a different perspective. So they are like completely unaware about what my project is. So for them, it's easy to give me some feedback. So I give it to three types of people. One is people who doesn't know anything about my project, and people who knows about my project who is not in my area. In the sense, let's say now, since my thesis is
first target audience.
Yes, so my thesis is based on academics. So I give it to a teacher who is non-technical. Okay, so this is like my thesis is based on education and technology. So I give it to a teacher who is not in the education sector. Who is in the education sector but nothing to do with technical. අපි හිතමු මේ සිංහල ටීචර් කෙනෙකුට දෙනවා. නැත්නම් ඉතිහාසයේ ටීචර් කෙනෙකුට දෙනවා. So that they have no clue about IT, but they know education. And then I give it to people who knows both. So then I get 3 or 4 different types of reviews, which ultimately I can merge everything together and make sure the document is perfect. Okay, and then, so that is the idea behind peer reviews. And at the same time, we do have software checking tools. So software checking tools, similar to what we use with Grammarly, and we use ChatGPT, as well as there are different tools like Humanize and Quillbots, exactly. So all these tools are there. So you put it through those tools as well, and try to make sure that all the grammatical errors and all the errors are fixed. Nowadays,
yeah, I use Quillbot for like give some sort of like a letter for someone,
Yeah.
I use Quillbot to preface it and give it in more advanced.
Yeah, paraphrasing is good, but be careful lah. When you paraphrase, sometimes the meaning of the text goes out.
Oh yeah, sir. Sometimes when I just like dear teacher, it comes like dear educator. It comes like that.
Exactly. Exactly. සිංහලෙන් කියනවා
So
නම්
it's sort of
සමහරලාට
weird.
සම්පූර්ණ කුණුහරුප ටිකක් දානවා ඒක. So
Like dear educator, what like sort of like that.
if you send that to your teacher, then obviously he or she is going to
He
figure
will
out
know
that you
that
got
I use
it. Yes, of course, yes. Then you're done. Okay, so point. So that's about the checking tools, and then we talk about proofreading. So proofreading is also a method of reviewing where proofreading must be done by a person. Okay, so proofreading means a person who basically carefully reads through the whole thing and identifies the main, let's say, the primary points. So it can be somebody who is in the same field, or usually proofreading, sometimes proofreading will be done by you, the person who wrote it itself. So what happens is sometimes you get other people to type your content, or if you get someone else to build that document for you. Let's say at your school you all get together as a group and you worked on the document, and the final document, let's say you're the one who is going to submit it, then you have to do the proofreading. You have to go through it and do a final proofreading. So at the same time, I just have a kind of like a hinge that this might be there in a question, because now since we are talking about the cloud, so peer reviewing using the cloud. So since we have collaborative working environments on cloud like Google Docs and Microsoft, what do you call it, Microsoft 365, right? The Microsoft 360, right? 360 to 65.
No, sir, it's 65, sir.
It's 65,
As
no?
my one shows. Uh, yeah, sir, it's 365.
365, no? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So those platforms basically allows you to share documents with others, no? So that means you can actually collaboratively review the same document. So the point is, we might get questions something like that, where it might ask what are the advantages of peer reviewing using the cloud. So primarily, three advantages: you can share the content, that means you can view the documents, and only the group members can view the document, because only the people who have access to the cloud can view it, right? As well as comment, they can go through the code, sorry, not the code, they can go through the document and they can put the comments, as well as edit. So they can edit the document as long as you have the permissions. So make sure that word is there. So in the cloud, as long as you have the permissions, you can edit the original document. So you can provide proper structured feedback. Okay, is it clear, that part?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So then yeah, this distributing part, we actually did this digital distribution part. We talked about the file compression and all. So final
Yes.
final point, agree how to solve the problems. So like after everybody carries out the reviews, then you actually can have a let's say have a discussion, and you can come up with a plan on how to solve the problem. So example is it might be there can be a lot of problems, or there can be just couple of points you need to fix. So depending on the problem, you will have to, first of all, since you do this as a group, you have to get together, and then you have to understand what are the suitable solutions or solution for the problem, and you have to fix it. Example is let's say the pictures are not good quality, then you all get together and talk, okay, so the pictures are not good in quality, so let's use a AI generator to generate the pictures. something like that, simple. So the solution, you have to take it, the the answer for the solution, or sorry, answer for the problem or the solution has to be taken as a collaborative decision. Okay, that's quicker. And then you have to make
Yeah.
sure that how quickly you can make the changes and finish it off. And that is almost it about this. So, just to give you a quick brief about how we do this in the industry. So, we basically use okay, we use these things like Canva. No? So in things like Canva, what we do is we basically use collaborative editing so that we can actually quickly edit and work with all the people at the same time. So we share the data with the customers, and then the customers get the option to actually go through this and give us the feedback on real time basis. So we can see what is exactly going on. So the customer can see what is exactly going on, and customer can provide us real time feedback. So at the same time, if there is some sort of a change which has to be done, the customer will automatically put a comment. Canva, you can put comments on Canva now. So you put a comment saying, "Can you change the color?"
Like when Sir is lively editing it, the guy who is like watching it like, can you fix
Yes.
this and like that?
Exactly, correct. So usually when my graphic team works on it, they, if the customer is available at that point, we let the customer join to the same editing window itself, and we get his comments. ඒක හැබැයි සමහර වෙලාවට හරි කරදරයක් because they keep on changing it. So but most of the time it's easy as well, because then we give the customer what he exactly wants. Exactly. Otherwise, other way around, we have to do a change, we have to send an email, wait until that's get approved, and we have to work on it again, and so it's a big process back and forth. So that's how it works.
Yes.
Okay, so I
Sir,
hope.
have you ever used Blender?
No. I have used Blender, yes, but I haven't done any, let's say, practical work out of it. Have you used it?
Sir, I have Blender and I'm trying to use it.
Okay. Can your PC run run Blender?
Yeah, sir, I surely can run in my laptop. I can even render.
Okay.
And sir, like to like further render, sir, that's I told that the Pentium 3 laptop, sir, that day.
Yeah.
I thought of like making my Pentium 3 laptop. I had another computer by putting all the things, the Intel Core i3,
Okay.
and so the RAM and the hard drive and those all, and after like changing the power supply and making it into an Intel Core i3 computer and connecting those both with a network card.
You can do it, but check if the motherboard supports. Huh? Motherboard needs to support this thing. So
Then say the whole motherboard.
yes, if it doesn't support, you have to replace the whole motherboard. So motherboards are really picky. Yeah? So the CPU structures, usually how it works is a motherboard comes with a specific support for a range of CPUs. So if it is Core i3, there are multiple generations of Core i3 now. So Gen 1, now we are going forward with Gen 14, I think, right? Core i3 14th generation. So generations.
So I have the 11th one.
11th gen, okay. So the motherboards actually they have different chip architecture. So depending on the chip, the motherboard has to change. That's why usually that's why most people go with AMD. AMD Ryzen series, they do have motherboard support. They do have a wide, let's say, wide range of motherboard supports. So usually, sometimes even when they release a new CPU, they do have backward compatibility. So like.
But sir, Ryzen is like no things like Intel. They are not good for gaming and those things. Are like they have no
Way
good.
completely other way around. Huh? Ryzen is the best for gaming. Intel is for productivity. Total other way around. Ryzen, so AMD is usually taken as a gaming focused CPU, and mostly for high end rendering, high end fast gaming and all. Intel is mostly focused towards productivity, like servers and documentation or something like that. So,
So sir, if I had an Intel Core i3 motherboard,
yeah,
and what if I just put an Intel Core i7 chip to that?
if it is in
It
the
was
same generation, if it is in the same, okay, you have to check three things: generation of the CPU, the number of the support for the
gigahertz.
RAM, number of RAMs, and the support for RAM, and the you have this thing called the motherboard chipset. So the support for the motherboard chipset, even if you put it on the slot, motherboard slot can accommodate the CPU. No? But even if the motherboard slot supports it, if the motherboard chip doesn't recognize the CPU, then it won't work.
So
So
I thought of making sort of like a computer set with those things, and
okay,
that's why I just asked from sir.
okay,
And
but
to connect it.
yeah, connection part,
Sir,
everything is okay. But if your motherboard is pretty old, then you won't be able to replace the CPU. Huh? Be careful.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's such a sort of like I thought of making that thing so new because nobody take it for use.
Okay, okay. Yeah, but sometimes you might not be able to change the CPU. Huh? Be careful. මොකද මේ sometimes if it doesn't support, the CPU might get burned.
So I'll just change it with the motherboard.
Then it's okay with the okay, okay. I thought you're only going to change the CPU. Okay, okay. If you're
Then,
changing with the motherboard, then that's okay. Then that's perfectly fine.
and sir, do you know sir that 3.6 terabyte hard drive is about like 2000.
3.6 TB hard drive. Okay. I haven't
Yes,
actually.
it was in Dallas.
Okay, I haven't purchased that. The, I haven't purchased a hard drive for a long time, man. The last time I purchased that was like long time ago when I was building a server and still that server is running. Okay, so let's we have another about 20 minutes or so. So let's jump into ASCII and we'll see how it works. So I hope the previous part is clear. So ASCII is something. Uh, let's look at this in a different way. Okay, so when it comes to binary is yes, zeros and ones, but the problem is now when you want to type in some sort of a text, you need to have a specific way of keeping the data. Now that word file which I just opened on Visual Studio Code, and you saw you have like special characters, binary and text mixed together, right? So that is one way of saving. Otherwise you can actually convert the entire file into binary also, then you won't be able to read it. But the thing is, this when this processing takes into the system, or the processing happens, there is a specific type of a, so okay, if you go back, computer scientists had a problem because when you're saving some sort of a text into a binary, we had multiple ways of doing this. Okay, now let's say if you created a computer system, you have a way, you can come up with your own architecture. The mama තව එකක් හදනවා, තව එකක් හදනවා. හරි. ඔහොම වුණාම we jump into a problem because my document, you won't be able to open my document because I'm using a different method to represent the text in binary. Right? And if someone else comes with this, then let's say if you want to create your computer system, you will make a method called Kemit, and mama hadana method Vipula කියලා. When we, let's say, so if you create a Word document, and when you give me that Word document, I won't be able to open it because you have created it in a specific way only to be read by your system. Right? So to prevent that, people bought a standard. So the standard is known as the American standard for American standard code for information. Okay, so that is the idea behind ASCII. So what it does is it is basically using it is basically created as an English language because people need to be able to read and understand it. No? Created as
Yeah.
an English language which has a 7-bit character set. Okay, so that is a 7-bit character set, and there are 128 different sequences which represent all the numbers as in ASCII code. Okay, so to give you the context now, if you take a keyboard, when you press a key in the keyboard, it doesn't actually send you the key, it sends the system the ASCII code. Okay, so let me show you a quick example on this, then you will understand it more. So just search
So,
as
that's the thing that I told, like that when you type a code and you can make sort of like an emoji or something in Word.
yes. So let me show you something. So if you go into one of this thing, so I'm
Key tester.
key test. Okay, so if I press Q, see the ASCII code for, so this is, so if I press let's say 1 2 3 4 5 Q W E R T Y, see,
So we can just change it by the thing, like the A is 65. So
yeah,
when we are going to B, C, like we have to add 1. B is 66 and C is 67, like that.
yes. So when you are entering numbers in your keyboard, see, it's all characters. This is how
Yeah.
this is how the computer will understand your letters. Okay.
Yeah.
So now this has a full. So this is not entirely the ASCII thing, but now the hardware actually represent it as a specific code. So now ASCII is basically the way the structure is created using 128 0 to 127 characters. Okay, so that is basically based on the decimal numbers. Then we have another point called Unicode. So the problem with ASCII was ASCII, when they created ASCII, that was mainly focused towards English. So we have all the English characters in it. But there was a problem. Now, when we take the other languages, like if we take Sinhala, Sinhala අපේ අකුරු වල දෙනවා ඉස්පිලි පාපිලි, right? ඉස්පිල්ලයි පාපිල්ලයි, we have lot of different characters which will connect into Sinhala words, right? So for that, that cannot be represented in ASCII because that is a whole different new character, right? So for that, we were introduced with the system called Unicode. So the Unicode, since there's like hundreds of languages, different languages, they all needed different characters and symbols. So Unicode, since ASCII only supports the English, the new character sequence was introduced with the Unicode system. So Unicode, we do have different versions. So remember, since it has a lot of characters in it, Unicode has multiple different versions starting from 8 to 32-bit versions. So in order for us to add additional characters, this Unicode system was actually created. So when it comes to a real world example, ASCII was originally 7-bit, but it expanded to 8-bit, allowing 256 characters, right? And then in 2020, there were about 150,000 characters in the Unicode character set. Because I mean, yeah, so many characters. No, if you take the Sinhala alphabet, still how many special characters are there? So even if you write okay, let's say if you write your name as Kemith, Kemith ලියන්න කොච්චරක් එන්නවද? කොම්බුවක් එනවා, K කයන්න ලියනවා, you make it K and you.
So especially in Chinese.
Yes, Chinese is the worst. You
Done.
have so many different characters. Right?
So we have single character, so it would take like for like three strokes, it would take like many Unicodes.
Yes, same, yeah. So because of that thing, it was very, very complicated. Then,
And sir, I have to ask you a question, sir.
yeah, sure.
Once, sir, when I was applying for a website, sir, that have you heard about the YouTuber called Mark Rober?
Mark Rober, yes, I do follow him.
That guy just came up with a thing like you can upload the photo and he would take the photo from a satellite near to your country, sort of figure, sort of like that, no?
Yeah, right.
I
yeah.
just went to apply
Ah,
and those days I didn't know about something like Unicode. Just what is your Unicode? And I was trying to find the Unicode, however I couldn't apply. So how
Unicode.
to find our Unicode?
Usually, if it is singular, we have to go with Unicode. We will have to go with UTF. We'll have to go with UTF 8, Unicode format 8. But why does it? Why did he ask for the Unicode? Okay, that's a bit of a weird question. I'm not
Is that
exactly.
guys are going to hack us or something?
No idea. I remember he did that. No, he sent that satellite and he asked us to send a message. No, but like when you
So
send the
he's a
message,
super genius.
he's a NASA scientist.
Yeah, that's it.
He's a NASA scientist now. He's doing YouTube on full-time basis.
Crunch labs.
Yeah, Crunch Labs, exactly. Okay. So, and then this Unicode thing actually became very common. Okay, so back in the sense in 2004, 2005, 6, when we were building databases, we actually didn't go forward with Unicode because this Unicode was actually not that powerful back then. So what we went through with just as simple ASCII, and we build databases and all. But then technology got evolved, and primarily we got these guys. So emojis and all. So until very recently, emojis were we were not able to save it. So back then, when we were sending a smiley, it was literally a colon, a hyphen, and a bracket. That's how we send smileys back then. But now the smiley has changed to a proper smiley because now we have the Unicode capacity to represent a specific smiley. And
Sir, nowadays in Telegram, sir, if you go to smile, it is with action. Like
yes. Yeah. So it's like this now. So now when I'm sending you a smiley, what happens is that specific Unicode character is being sent to you. And then your Telegram or your chat application, WhatsApp or whatever the application, that will then recognize that Unicode character, then it will get converted into your character. Okay? So just to show you this now.
So actually, who created the emojis?
Emojis, that was actually there for a long time, but now only that can get saved. I'll send make it then PHP test. I'll send it on this key test. I just send it on the group. Okay. So in the example, you can see A is 65, B is 66, ASCII number, C is 67. So you can actually go to the website and see A is 65, B is 66, C is 67. And if you press space is 32. One
That
is
is also the big number.
Yeah, so when you keep a space in the text, the space should contain that space.
So
Now,
it's going like 32, 35, 36, like that sort of big numbers.
Yes, everything is saved as in numbers.
So if you are going to write a code with that, sir, you would end up while being mad.
You would probably get mad. Get your mind. You will get into a mental state, obviously. How can you? Okay, forget about writing it like this. Think about you're writing it in binary. Can you write? So if you write A in binary, it's 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 1. If you write B, it's 1 0 0 0 0 1 0. That is B. So ASCII is basically the way we type in texts, but now how it works is it basically converts the text into that number and that is getting saved. So when you encode something, this is how it works. So let's say if we take the message hello world, this is what we see. So we see hello world, but when you type in hello world, what is getting saved is this thing, this guy. So it's 72 101 108 108 111 32 119 111 114 108 133. Okay, that is what is getting typed, and when you save it, ultimately this is what the computer will say. Okay, so that is what the computer will actually see. So here you know about ASCII art, right? You tried out ASCII art?
Not sort of, sir. I never knew a concept called ASCII.
Okay. So go to search as ASCII art on. Just go
Sir,
to
it was
Google.
developed in 1970s or something.
Yes, so ASCII basically, that was the early eras of computing, because computing was mainly designed to process data. So there was no particular way of processing the data. So that's why this ASCII concept was introduced. So check out these sites. So you do have a lot of different things for ASCII arts, as well as you have a ASCII art studio. You can actually draw images in ASCII. See?
Oh.
ASCII art is what? Okay, you might have seen this. So ASCII art is basically text art, textual art. So see?
With those things, like we had to align them.
No, this is art using text.
Oh. Sir, then one of the guys showed a computer code that you could run a parrot in the terminal, sir, but it was not practical as I saw. But
That
sir,
is, yeah.
and now I understand he used ASCII.
That is ASCII, exactly. So we basically call it ASCII art.
ASCII.
So ASCII means, now that is the most like primitive way of doing this, because you can actually get, okay, so let me show you some ASCII art. You have the studio, you have images to ASCII art as well. So let me show you something. Let's take an image. Image diagram. So let's take that.
So we can take that image as an ASCII, right? Sir?
Yes. So let me take a simple. Okay, let me take a screenshot of you. Okay.
This time, sir, ChatGPT had used what ChatGPT is now
See?
giving us.
See what
Wow,
happened?
I'm nice in that picture.
No, it's you. So I took a screenshot of you, and see,
ASCII.
it's
Okay.
converted all into characters. So if you zoom in, you can see its characters. See?
Oh. With and percentage marks and
Yes.
hash marks and those things.
Hash signs, plus signs.
Also, when I was doing that DP robotics or some DP robotics,
Okay.
they once told us to like to display your photo in the whatever in the computer that is on, and so
Okay.
I just put a polar bear, and so they told like to turn it into an ASCII art, and so it came as so much letters and numbers, and we had
Yes.
to upload it into the computer of that thing.
Okay.
And so I actually displayed a polar bear in that one from a distance.
Yes. So this ASCII art is actually something very interesting. So try that out. Just search for ASCII and see. So seriously, so back then when we didn't had smartphones, right? So we sent ASCII art. If you want to send a heart to somebody, we used to draw that heart using characters, and then only we sent it.
So even in Python, sir, you can make an sort of like an ASCII art. Once I made a
Yes.
P
Ah.
by like putting print
Yes.
and print. sort of like in the formation and print it, and however it's coming like this.
Correct. Yes. So now, Kemit, just keep in mind. So you might get questions on these particular points. So what is ASCII? So here, the word either highlight it or you can write it down. So ASCII stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Okay. American Standard Code for Information Interchange. And the most important thing is this is English language. There are 128 different 7-bit sequences representing decimal numbers from 0 to 127. These two lines. Okay. So if you get questions, this is the primary point, as well as you might get a question, what is Unicode? So if it is Unicode, this is basically what you can say is it's a character set here. Unicode is a character set that represents the characters used in all known languages, which requires many more sequences than 7-bit can provide. So ASCII only supports up to 7 bits, that means the English alphabet, and Unicode goes above and beyond the 7-bit, which allows you to get 8, 16 or 32-bit versions. Because now 7 bits only provides you 128 characters, which your keyboard has more than enough. Because for the keyboard, that is more than enough to have the space to. Okay. So these two are the primary points. You might get, like, if you get questions, these are the main points you might get questioned about, because apart from that, it's all straightforward. And also, like, I'm not sure whether they will ask you for these particular points, because it's really hard to remember the entire 128 character list for ASCII. But as a brief example, you can actually remember the alphabet starts from 65. So just go through that website which I sent. You can type in the letters and find out what are the characters which it gives out. Then encoding part, you can actually try it out as well. Then yes, we jump into IP addresses. So we do have to.
Sir, we are almost at the end, sir.
Yes, but we
Only
will.
2 lessons.
Only 2 lessons. So let's. Shall we catch back on Wednesday then? Wednesday morning.
Okay, sir.
So Wednesday morning,
Yes.
I will send you a message. We'll catch back on Wednesday, and let's finish this off. And like as we planned, so let's finish this off on Wednesday, and on Friday and next week we'll do some papers, questions.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Perfect. Sounds good. Super. So I need to jump out. So catch you on Wednesday then.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay then.
Have a
Super.
nice day.
You too. See you. Bye.
Have a good
Bye.
day.